Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Paula Degnan. Fire crews from the Hazleton area called out to a structure fire today on Grant Street. That blaze broke out in the kitchen of the home at 665 Grant around 3 o'clock this afternoon. One adult, 4 children, and 2 dogs made it out of the building okay. The family is currently being assisted by the American Red Cross. The cause of this afternoon's fire still under investigation. A car and motorcycle collided in the city of Hazleton this afternoon, leaving one of the drivers sent to the hospital. The accident happened shortly after noon at the intersection of Wyoming Street and West Diamond Avenue. A black Volvo struck a motorcyclist who had to be transported to the hospital, according to police. Witnesses say the man on the motorcycle was not wearing a helmet and was bleeding from the head at the time of the accident. There's still no word at this time on that man's condition or if charges will be filed against any of those involved in this afternoon's crash. Homicide charges have been filed. That's in connection with a woman's death over the weekend at a home in Foster Township. Following an autopsy yesterday on the body of 46-year-old Antoinette Tony Lynn Wilkinson, the Luzerne County coroner determined she died from physical head injuries and gunshot wounds. Manner of death? Homicide. Today, 51-year-old Joseph Marchetti was arraigned by video from his hospital room on the charges of criminal and attempted homicide in connection with that woman's death. Police were called to a home on Spring Street in the Upper Lehigh section Sunday to a possible hostage situation. When they got inside, they found the body of Wilkinson, her mother Barbara Wilkinson with a head injury, and Marchetti with an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Her mother still hospitalized. Marchetti will be sent to the Luzerne County Correctional Facility when he's released from the hospital. Following a month-long investigation, agents of the Luzerne County Drug Task Force, together with West Hazleton and Hazleton Police Narcotics Division, made 2 arrests in connection with alleged drug sales in the area. 30-year-old Alejandro Frederick Kraniak of Hazleton and 31-year-old Earl McCormick of Philadelphia each face numerous charges involving crack cocaine and other illicit narcotics. They're now being held in the Luzerne County Correctional Facility. A man serving a life sentence for a 1992 Hazleton shooting death was granted the right to appeal that sentence due to a Supreme Court decision. 44-year-old Todd Hung Ray Tarselli was 17 when he shot and strangled Mark Bunchock during a robbery at the Kentucky Fried Chicken on Broad Street. The appeal was approved yesterday by a Luzerne County judge under the Miller versus Alabama Supreme Court decision that prevents mandatory life sentences for juveniles. Tarselli claims he was 17 when the murder occurred, but state records suggest he was 18 at the time. He also made previous attempts for a new sentence, but has been denied. Though he won the appeal, so far no hearing date has been set. After allegedly stealing money from an American Legion post home, a Shepton man finds himself behind bars. An investigation by East Union Township Police revealed that 53-year-old Thomas Paris removed a wooden window cover along with steel bars from American Legion Post 616 on Main Street and gained entry into the building. He allegedly took $500 in small games of chance ticket money and 3 envelopes containing $10 each. Paris was charged with burglary, criminal trespass, receiving stolen property, and theft. He was arraigned and taken to Schuylkill County Prison for lack of bail. A Wilkes-Barre man who was already wanted by police now faces several charges after leading authorities on a chase through 2 neighborhoods. It happened yesterday afternoon. 35-year-old William Fox was arrested by Hanover Township police on Plymouth Avenue shortly before 6 p.m. after a chase through several streets. He was wanted by police in Kingston and Wilkes-Barre, stemming from incidents in October where he was charged with terroristic threats and disorderly conduct. After being arraigned on Tuesday night, he faces additional charges now of attempting to elude law enforcement, resisting arrest, and several traffic violations. He was taken to prison for lack of bail. Police in Hanover Township on the lookout for a driver they say was involved in a hit-and-run accident Monday evening. The driver of a red 4 Explorer collided with several other vehicles at South Main Street and St. Mary's Road around 6:30, then took off. That vehicle should have sustained heavy damage on the side door. Anyone with information on the incident is asked to contact Hanover Township Police at 570-825-1254. A bill to expand the criminal counts that would force public officials in Pennsylvania to forfeit their taxpayer-paid pension has the unanimous approval of the state Senate. The bill, passed Tuesday, now heads to the House of Representatives. The bill would require a public employee or official to lose their pension if they're convicted, plead guilty, or plead no contest to any felony crime that's related to their employment. Current law only requires pension forfeiture for certain crimes. Horse owners, here's one for you. The state police may be looking for you. That's because the Pennsylvania State Police Horse Mounted Patrol Unit is seeking donations of horses to be used for patrols, security, statewide searches, and crowd control. If you would like to donate, it must be a gelding between the ages of 5 and 15. The horse should stand at least 16 hands tall, that's about 5 feet 4 inches at the shoulder, and be no taller than 18 hands. The animal will be accepted on a 120-day trial basis and be kept in a stable at the Academy in Hershey. If you would like to arrange a donation or get more information, you can contact 717-533-3463. Coming up on WYLN News, Blight and rent rebates. Plus, WYLN's Julia Wiegand tells us why this group was filling cracks with red sand in one part of Luzerne County today. But first, let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. A cold into January today, but we'll welcome February tomorrow with some overcast skies and some rain showers, maybe some snow mixing in, a high of 42. Clouds on Friday, a high of 22, and those clouds should keep the groundhog from seeing his shadow, and that would mean an early spring. Yay. We'll be right back.
The Berger family dealerships have joined forces with Blaze Alexander Family Dealerships to bring you the largest liquidation sale ever. We have 30 days to liquidate $10 million in new and pre-owned inventory. This isn't just a sale. This is your opportunity to save thousands. Maximize trade allowance, the biggest discounts, and lowest rates. First come, first serve. Stop and shop or visit us online at BergerFamilyDealerships.com and see for yourself how low we'll go. And only at Berger Family Dealerships in Hazleton, where you'll find the lowest price guaranteed.
Tom Wolf's never-ending tax hikes have hurt Pennsylvanians. Wolf's record on jobs, a disgrace. I've spent my life signing the front of paychecks. Companies create jobs, not politicians. And we'll create more paychecks by cutting big government. My plan eliminates the property tax, cuts wasteful spending, and makes government accountable to us instead of the Harrisburg insiders.
Tough, businessman, conservative. Scott Wagner for governor.
The Wiltsey Center presents Chris Pavlik sings and swings to the music of Frank Sinatra. with the Cellar Dwellers Jazz Ensemble. Friday, February 9th. The box office opens at 5:30, doors open at 6, and the show begins at 6:30. Tickets are $5 for students, $10 for adults. Tickets can also be purchased at Boscov's at the Laurel Mall. Don't miss Chris Pavlik sings and swings to the music of Frank Sinatra.
Though one county committee is lacking the funds to operate, they have no plans to disband at this time. The Luzerne County Blighted Property Committee was started last year to help the county address blight, but in December, Luzerne County Council rejected the Redevelopment Authority's proposal to pay $15,000 for costs for the committee. Council members support the committee, but are concerned about the cost and liability that's involved. Now, committee members plan on addressing council at the next work session coming up February 27th. Luzerne County Manager David Pedri also scheduled to deliver his State of the County address that same evening. Now's the time to get in your application for the Property Tax Rent Rebate Program. The State Department of Revenue says rebates are available for property taxes or rent paid in 2017. Eligible residents must be 65 and older, people 18 and older with disabilities, and widows and widowers 50 years of age and older. There's also income limitations. Forms are available on the State Department of Revenue website, and the deadline to apply is June 30th. A red sand project ceremony held today at the Luzerne County Courthouse. Julia Wiegand has more on human trafficking awareness.
The NEPA Task Force Against Human Trafficking held a red sand project ceremony at the Luzerne County Courthouse today.
At the end of our presentation, we went outside and each took a cup of sand and poured it in a sidewalk crack to symbolize those of us in our society that fall between the cracks, the victims of human trafficking.
The ceremony raised awareness for the human trafficking problem that does indeed exist in northeastern Pennsylvania, across the nation, and the world. No clear example of a human trafficking victim exists, ranging from sex exploitation to labor and more. Pennsylvania's main issue is sex trafficking.
Young women that are manipulated into believing that the men love them and that they will do anything to please them. And what happens is they are taken advantage of. They become slaves to this trafficker, and they are then sold. A lot of people approach me and say, well, it couldn't happen here. Well, we see it regularly. It could happen anywhere, and it could be anyone.
A difference is being seen with the new working task force that got its start in 2016. Collaborations with the FBI, U.S. Attorney's Office, U.S. Attorney General's Office, and other programs help assist victims and those caught in human trafficking.
We go out in the community and we give presentations to continue to try to raise awareness. If anyone would like us to come to their group or organization to give a presentation, they can reach us through the Victims Resource Center of Luzerne County.
People should be aware of the indicators and be vigilant in the community by knowing the signs. An example used today was a mindful flight attendant who had a man and woman on her radar.
The man was looked to be like her father, but she had physical markings on her body from abuse, and she seemed fearful. And when this flight attendant pulled her aside, she was able to find out that she was a victim of human trafficking. So if we're aware of these signs, we could help maybe save a life.
Reporting from WIkesBarre for WYLN News, I'm Julia Wiegand.
Coming up on Kumbola's News Choice, it's still a nasty flu season, not over yet. Dr. Benyo joins us in Community and You with information you need to know. Plus, tired of the cold and snow? The boys of summer are gearing up for their local appearance. But first, let's take a look at today's winning midday lottery numbers. Good luck if you played. Stay with us.
For 4 generations, All-American Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram has been treating their customers like family. Stop in to get the lowest financing options and best service around. Whether you're in need of a Ram pickup with a Snow Dog plow or have an active family lifestyle, or simply want to show off your fun, adventurous side. All-American Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram of Tamaqua has a wide variety of inventory to choose from. Stop in now and take advantage of their Start Something New event.
You've seen university advertising. A student like me pitching you the same old ideas. But I'm not gonna do that.
Instead, I'm gonna tell you what you can do with a Penn State degree. You can help anyone. Go anywhere. Create! And with 20 campuses to choose from, you'll always feel at home.
Look, Penn State is amazing, but your best years are just beginning. Come find out for yourself.
Ralph M. Cameron, specializing in quality and affordable construction services for residential, commercial, and industrial, licensed and insured. Call 570-401-0654 today for all your construction needs.
Hi, I'm Isabella Falvello. Join me for a wonderful new cooking series, Ciao Bella, featured here on WYLN TV 35.
And welcome to Community and You here on WYLN News, everyone. I'm Gary Perrin. I'm very pleased to be joined by Dr. Dan Benyo from the Lehigh Valley Physicians Group here in Hazleton. And Dr. Benyo, first, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Of course, name very familiar. Your dad and brother practice in the area. You have now joined the Lehigh Valley Physicians Group as well. And today we're going to talk a little bit about cold and flu season. And we went through this really cold snap. It's getting a little bit warm, but people need to know, don't, pack away those winter clothes yet. Be prepared, because we could still get some cold temperatures in here, and you can still get sick a little bit from it.
Oh, certainly. Now is the time for cold and flu season, despite warmer temperatures. Influenza is among us. And generally, the cold and flu season runs from October to May. We're already seeing cases in the hospital of influenza. And so it's extremely important to be aware of it and to follow up with your doctor and, of course, get your flu shots.
And that's something I want to ask about. We've heard a lot in the news lately about the flu shot. Some are saying it's only 10% effective. So a lot of people are worrying, like, is it even worth getting it to go to the doctor and get the flu shot?
Sure. I hear that a lot this year. The CDC reported that it's only 10% effective, and that's based off of a few things. One is there's 3 strains of influenza. Influenza A and B are the most common. Influenza A has one that's called H3N3, and that's the one that the vaccine isn't as effective with. So how do they generate that data? They look at Australia. Their flu season is opposite to ours. It's from May to October. And they basically test the vaccine during their flu season. So it was found this year in the interim of their flu season to be only 10% effective at reducing the H3N3. But there's still 2 other very common strains that can infect people, and that we're seeing that the flu vaccine provides probably around 45–50% effectiveness in decreasing your risk of getting the flu infection.
So somebody is at home, they said, I've started not to feel good for the last couple of days, sneezing, coughing, running nose. They're saying, you know what, it's just something, I'll deal with it, I'll take something over the counter. Is that always the best thing to do, to just say, I think I can handle it, I'm going to go to work, days later everybody in the office is sick?
Sure. So common symptoms of something that's influenza are fevers, runny nose, coughing, congestion, diffuse muscle aches, pains, fatigue, feeling tired. Those are very common symptoms. And the risk is, if you continue to go to work, you continue to pass it on, and other people get sick, and it just kind of generates an epidemic, so to speak. So it's important to call your physician. Certainly there's multiple factors that go into it. One is how old you are. Older populations don't do too well when they get the influenza. Influenza kills people who are old and young and immunosuppressed. So usually if you're above the age of 65, that's when we start to say, well, you should just call us if you develop any of these symptoms, and certainly in the younger population as well. And if you're on medications that can impair your immunity. So those are all important. Certainly you can do over-the-counter treatments like Tylenol, nasal rinses, Mucinex, saltwater gargles for sore throat. There's a variety of over-the-counter medications. But there's also, more importantly, a medication that can be used to help reduce the symptoms of the flu influenza infection, as well as reduce any severe complications from it. So that's called Tamiflu, but it's a prescription, and usually you should be evaluated by your physician prior to having that prescribed.
Okay, so a lot to remember. You know, you may not just be getting a cold, you could be getting the flu, and it could be something that you know, could knock you down for a couple days and really, you know, throw you for a loop. And it's really important, especially those older population, children, make sure they're seen by a doctor. And you currently are accepting new patients for your practice. So, you know, some may, well, I don't have a doctor. This may be a good time to say, hey, give you a call and come down.
Sure, I'm a new provider to the area. Just finished residency, and my schedule is wide open, of course. And more importantly, we also offer Saturday hours for people who maybe during the week and with their work they're unable to come in. We offer Saturday hours every Saturday down at the Drums office.
Okay, so you can give a call to make an appointment, 501-4LVH, of course, or 570-501-4584 to schedule an appointment with Dr. Benyo and get it in CM. And don't just shrug it off and it's a cold. If you're not sure, you know, just err on the side of caution and see Dr. Benyo or your physician as well. Doctor, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And of course, thanks for watching, everyone here on Community and You. We'll catch you next time here on WIkesBarre.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
Chur's Auto Sales has been serving the area with quality vehicles since 1954. Chur's Auto Sales is known as your friendly dealer and now in their 4th generation and voted the best used car dealer by the readers of Standard Speaker Choice Awards. John Chur would like to thank everyone that voted for his business. When you need a quality pre-owned vehicle, choose from a large selection at Chur's 570-454-7229.
Join us this week on Let's Talk Chiropractic. You're going to meet James, a wonderful gentleman who had a lot of pain and tried a lot of different things until he finally found Dr. Stacy and got some help. His story is this week on Let's Talk Chiropractic. Join us.
Don't drive drunk or text while driving. That's the message 9th through 12th graders received a lesson in this morning. Students at MMI Preparatory School in Freeland got a first-hand look at what happens while driving impaired or distracted. The Lehigh Valley Health Network, along with the Northeast Highway Safety and Pennsylvania State Police, interacted with students about the responsibilities and possible dangers while operating a motor vehicle.
We're doing the distracted portion of our simulators with the students today to let the students know that there's consequences to going out on the road driving distracted. Either they're going to injure themselves or somebody else, they're going to kill themselves or somebody else, or they're going to go to prison. So we'd rather have a student on a simulator if they want to text to drive than out on the road.
The simulator, sponsored by Lehigh Valley Health Network, gives users the experience of driving while texting or impaired. The system, which is similar to driving a real vehicle, shows the repercussions of what can happen.
They get to really see the reality of what could happen. I think a lot of them are surprised that they find their passenger wasn't wearing their seatbelt and they were in a crash and the passenger's injured, that, wow, I could go to prison for up to 7 years for injuring my passenger who wasn't buckled. They don't know that they're responsible as the driver for the passengers in the vehicle.
Students also got to experience the effects that alcohol has on the body while wearing specially designed goggles.
To give them an idea of how their impairment would be, how they would be impaired, I should say, their vision, their reaction, if they were under the control of controlled substances or alcohol. So in some cases we put them through some field sobriety tests that we would do any individual and make them realize that majority of glasses over there, they're at 0.02 for a minor in the state of Pennsylvania. Most of those glasses start at 0.08. So that would already make them 4 times the legal limit if we were to arrest them for driving a vehicle under the influence of alcohol or drugs.
Trooper Peters also advising parents to spot check their child and set strong ground rules to keep them and others safe out on the roadways. The Boys of Summer gearing up to make their return. The Scranton-Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders announcing a new manager will join the team this season. Bobby Mitchell comes from the AA Trenton team, also announced today. Phil Plantier as hitting coach, and the Rail Riders will open their season at home Friday, April 6th against Syracuse. The big game quickly approaching. And this one is football. Many are planning parties on Sunday, and if you're still looking for some good food to have the party, we know who you could call. Firefighters at the McAdoo Fire Company may have the food that you'll be looking for, because they are once again hosting a food sale before the big game on February 4th from noon to 4. They're selling all kinds of great things, including wings that are in hot, mild, barbecue, Cajun, butter and garlic, and they're just $8 a dozen. Pork barbecue, $4.50 a pound. Strombolis and sausage soup sold in a quart for $7. Give them a call. You can see the number there on the screen, 570-929-1079. Tonight, the last day to order. Now, stay with us. A look at today's weather is next here on WYLN News.
Four Blooms is now open, 668 North Hunter Highway in Drums. Tuesday's happy hour from 5 until 8 in the bar area. Every Wednesday from 6 until 10 is Martini Night in the piano room. Sip and Savor, Thursday from 5 until 8 in the bar. And don't forget about Sunday brunch. That's Four Blooms in Drums.
Boyer Insurance Agency, 78 Sugarloaf Avenue in Sugarloaf. Quality coverage, competitive rates, discounts, recreational vehicles, boats, campers, and motorcycles. Find the coverage you want at the right price. Call them at 570-788-3543.